Well, good morning, church, and we come to this very final part of this series we've been doing on the Lord's Prayer, and the final few lines are, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, and then the final exaltation, for yours is the kingdom, the power and the glory forever and ever, amen. And in a way, there are all of those lines wrapped up together. We're going to look at what they mean in a moment. Before we do so, though, I want to just begin by saying something to help set the context for our teaching. We have to be so brief in these moments of online church. But it's quite important to remember that in the Christian life, we are never promised that storms and disappointments and things that don't always completely go our way we will be sheltered from. We still have to walk through the normal stuff of life and all that it throws at us. But we do so differently as a Christian because we do so with the presence of Jesus. Now, hold that in thought, because that means that actually temptation will come our way. That actually we will have to learn to walk and live still with all that this world has to throw at us. And Jesus says, therefore, pray this prayer. Lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom, the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Let's take this step by step. What does it mean? Well, let's first of all think about temptation. And let me ask you a question. How are you coping with temptation? What is it that fills your heart and mind and imagination? Every day we are assailed with thousands of images and impressions and adverts and straplines and stuff that come our way that press into us and shape us and draw our gaze towards something else. I wonder what that is for you and how you are living with that. Do you know, many years ago, I went on a surfing holiday with some friends. It was a long time ago because I was still a teenager. I think the world was still in black and white in those days. We had a few days when there was literally no surf. The sea was flat as a pancake. There was no swell. There was no wind. There was nothing at all. And we ended up spending a few days in the pub just entertaining ourselves and having a lot of fun. And we invented a game while we were there to help while away the hours, because we noticed that in the top corner of the ceiling of the pub, there was a little blue light that emitted a continual humming sound. And it seemed that every fly and flesh-eating beastie that there was eventually gravitated towards this little blue humming light and succumbed with a zap, etc. So we just to while away the hours decided we would adopt a fly or a beastie, and we numbered them and we named them, and basically the winner of the game each round was whoever's beastie was the last one alive that had resisted the lure of flying in towards that blue light. Now, of course, eventually they all ended up there. But it begs the question, doesn't it, that as we go through life, how are we with the lure of what it is that draws our attention? Are we able to stand aside from it and apart from it, or do we keep walking towards it? I wonder what fills your heart and mind, what your temptation is, if you like. Maybe it's in the realm of actually what's going on in our minds, in our sense of self-image, the strongholds of what happens up here. Thoughts like I'm not as attractive or as clever or as popular or as successful as everybody else, crippling our ability to live with freedom the life that Christ